We're pleased, as always, to be joined by Scott Riley, the District Attorney for the 36th Prosecutorial District. That is Catawba, Burke, and Caldwell counties. Welcome back to the studios.
Thank you very much, Rob.
It's good to have you here, and I know you want to talk about multiple items, and the first, not so pleasant. It's an item related to drugs in the community. Yes,
unfortunately, the last couple times I've been here, I've talked about the devastating effects of fentanyl. Unfortunately, we're now seeing something that's being mixed with fentanyl to make this deadly drug even deadlier. It's called xylazine, and it's a sedative that was it's a veterinarian tranquilizer for horses, and it's being now mixed with fentanyl. So fentanyl was horrible, and now it's even deadlier, and it's the devastating effects of xylazine is incredible. It can rot people's flesh away. It leads to amputations. It renders the users into a stupor for hours, and it's where you get the zombie-like effects. So it renders these users even more vulnerable to rape and to robbery, and it's just horrible, and it's devastating. I blame the Mexican cartels. There's two in Mexico that are responsible primarily for transporting these chemicals that they get from China and trafficking it up through the communities throughout the United States.
You also want to talk about maybe using some technology.
Yeah, we're really excited. One of the difficulties we have in trying our DWI cases is we have so many more that involve drugs, not just blood alcohol. So we have to have a crime analyst come in from the crime unit to testify as to what the drug is in a person's system. And it's oftentimes difficult to get those crime analysts. They're so overworked, and they might have to be testifying in numerous counties in a particular day, so oftentimes a case is continued because we can't get the drug analyst into court. But now we are able to do what's called remote testimony with a OWL system. An OWL system is a remote TV that can show to the chemical analyst everything that's going on in the courtroom, and they can actually testify from Raleigh.
You also wanted to discuss some recent cases.
Right. We try to prioritize our cases. We always talk about the murder cases and some of the bigger sex offense cases, but we try to prioritize other cases as well, and one of those are any crimes involving violence, and especially domestic violence. So one of the last cases that we tried in Superior Court was the case of Kevin Linder, who was charged with attempted murder and violated a domestic violence order, and unfortunately his victim was the mother of his children, and he was tried before a jury. He was found guilty of all charges, and he received a sentence of at least 45 years in prison. Other cases that we prioritize are drug trafficking. Mm-hmm. We are trying our very best. If somebody's trafficking drugs or selling drugs, those are our priority cases. And John David Swink of Conover pled guilty to trafficking a couple weeks ago and was given up to 10 years in prison. And then the other cases we prioritize are the repeat offenders, the ones that keep doing the exact same thing. And Javon Dooley was convicted of breaking or entering, but because he's an habitual felon, he didn't get a usual sentence or probation. He got a sentence of up to 9 years in prison because of his prior 3 felonies that he had already been convicted of.
I know you're working to keep those the cases rolling and keep the dockets as clear as possible. We appreciate all that you do at the DA's office, and thank you for the update.
Okay, thank you very much for having me.
Scott Riley, the District Attorney for the 36th Prosecutorial District, that is Catawba, Burke, and Caldwell counties. He joins us each month here on WHKY.